Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Laurent, and I'm absolutely delighted today to host this session at CoExpo. Quick thing for everybody who's just joined now, if you could turn on your camera and turn off your microphones, that's when there is no other sound feedback, and still we can see everybody in the session. This session is the Design Edge, Find Your Full Package Solution Sustainable Suppliers, and it is sponsored by Dibella. It's absolutely amazing to see so many of you guys here. We had beautiful sessions yesterday already. We had so much interaction. We had so many people interacting with each other, especially in the breakout rooms later on. It was amazing to see how many good connections could be formed. And connections and connecting really is the one thing that we are about here at CoExpo. Not just CoExpo, as a matter of fact, this is what we are about at Common Objective. Us sharing this common objective, working towards a more sustainable fashion industry and a more sustainable way of practicing business. Before we go into the session, of course, I'm delighted to present to you who is going to be presenting and speaking at this session. This is going to be me. My name is Laurent Frédéric Lohmann. I am the head of partnerships here at Common Objective. Then we have Andy Shaw-Rogers speaking. He's the head of global suppliers. And of course, Tamsin Lejeune, Tamsin, our CEO and founder. And then this session is going to be headed up by Rajan from Dibella and by Clare Lissaman. She's the founder of the menswear brand Arthur and Henry, and she's also an expert and director at Co. In the session today, we are going to have a little overview presented by me on latest trends that have been shaping our industry for the last few years. With these trends then come a Q&A session with Claire from Arthur and Henry and with Sreeranga from Dibella. And after that, we will go into the part where we introduce our suppliers. Suppliers will be introduced by Andy before we then go into the breakout sessions where we split the group into smaller groups and make sure that we get these connections that we really want to get. And for everybody who's then joining these sessions as a visitor, be aware that you can switch between sessions, that you can jump in and out, that you can dip your toes in the water of one and then interact in the other. It really is up to you to interact there. And the more you interact, of course, the more beneficial. It's not just going to be for you, but it's going to be for everybody. And after the breakout sessions, we will then wrap it up back in the main session before we close the room. And before we go into the first part of, explaining, or let's say giving a deep dive on Co and what Co exactly does, a quick thing on how to make the most of CoExpo. First and foremost, as I've already said, please share in the chat who you are, share in the chat where you are from, share in the chat what your Co profile is, and in the end, share in the chat what you want to achieve. If you have any questions, please post those questions. If you have any comments, please post those comments. We'd love, love, love to hear from you. And as you can see here, there are a couple of people from the Co team attending this session. They will be sending you messages back that will be replying to you if there is anything that you want to ask. And then in the end, we are so proud that, a couple of weeks ago, we have launched messaging, and with the messaging functionality on Co, you can now bookmark each other's profiles. You can now send connection requests and you can start messaging each other. So whenever you feel like you need to have a chat with somebody outside of CoExpo, outside of this session, please feel free to connect on Co. Now, however, first and foremost, I'm very delighted to hand over to Tamsin Lejeune. She's going to do the next introduction on access, all of Co.
Welcome, everybody. It's so wonderful to see the incredible people coming into the room. Many people coming in as I speak from almost every country in the world. So we founded Co back in 2016 with the goal of creating a global community that would reduce the distance between suppliers and buyers and create a means for really positive win-win partnerships between suppliers and brands. And this CoExpo, the inaugural CoExpo for our organization, is the first time we've brought everybody in the Co community together, from all over the world and from every part of the fashion industry. And so it's a real pleasure to be here today. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Co. So I know most of you are members of Co because we've checked you against our list, but some of you aren't. So if you're not already a member of the platform, please do join. The way it works is a bit like a LinkedIn for sustainable fashion. So you can create an individual profile, you can set your preferences. It works like a matching profile. So you specify what you're interested in, you specify what you offer if you have a business. You might be looking for suppliers, you might be looking for buyers, you might be looking for information and answers. The platform then will match you on your dashboard with information. We have over 300 resources on there to support sustainable practices with businesses, with individuals. And you can also connect and message. As Laurent mentioned, we have just in the last month or so launched messaging on Co, which means that you can have everything in one place. It's the precursor to a new piece of technology that we're going to be launching soon after Expo, which will support connections between suppliers and buyers. So throughout this session, as you hear from suppliers, you will also, it's worth looking in the chat, you will also see links to their Co profile. At any time you can visit that Co profile, you can connect, you can bookmark, you can message. Your bookmark function in Co is really helpful because it means that in one place you've got everybody who you wanted to connect to and who you might want to follow up with. Business profiles, so brands or suppliers, you'll see many of the suppliers who are joining Expo, well, they all have business profiles on Co, and that allows you to see what's important about what they do, products, services, sustainability, who's on their team. So you can connect. If you click message at the top of any profile, it'll take you to the team section of their profile where you can connect with any one of the individuals who are part of that organization. You can see who you're connecting with. At Co, we really believe that connections, great business is about building relationships between people, trusting relationships, working with people you want to work with. And that's what this community is all about. So do create a business profile if you're a brand or representing a brand and you don't have a profile on Co, you can do it. It's free of charge to create a profile. And there's another advantage of doing so in that we run awards. So we run the Co Awards. They're open now. We've extended the deadline to participate in those until the end of October. It's because we've had a lot of brands joining Co since we launched Expo, and we wanted to give you a chance. So all you have to do to participate in the awards is create a business profile. Your business profile is your application. If you win an award, there are 6 criteria which are set out in the awards page. If maybe perhaps one of the team could post the link in the chat, you can see how to do that. All the exhibitors in Co-Expo, we look at against those criteria as well. It's about mission, it's about commitment to sustainability and great products. If you can demonstrate that on your profile, you can earn a leadership award, which increases your ranking. And that really matters. So our top 20 most highest ranking businesses get over 2,700% more views than our bottom 20. So it makes a difference to how you perform on the platform. And finally, resources and training. And we have the great advantage of having Clare joining us in the Q&A, who not only is the founder of Arthur and Henry, but is also the originators, the original head of content, director of content for Co, created a lot of the content on our site to support practices that both help you to deliver commercial value for your business and do it sustainably. Thank you. I'll pass back to Laurent with the trends.
Tamsin, thank you so much. I think you guys, sorry, could you quickly mute? Now, as you can see, Tamsin and I, we are sitting in the same room. Social distance, however. As you can see, there is a reason why Tamsin does the introduction to what Co is, because there's so much passion for the project, I think, not just with her, I think with the entirety of the team. And if, by the way, you want to meet some of us later on in the chat or on Co, feel free to shout us out. See, you know, there's Marielle, for instance, there's Victoria here, there's Ellie here. There are many, many people from our team, so please just get in touch with all of us. But before I keep singing praise to our team, let us continue with the session and let us continue with the trends for today. We continue to see encouraging stats when it comes to the growth of sustainable fashion, of course. Allbirds, many of us, we know them. For example, they've raised $1.7 billion valuation in the prep for its initial public offering for its IPO. Its e-commerce success, or its e-commerce sales in China last year, were doubled of what they were in 2019, and that even despite the pandemic, of course, reported by, we all know them, the business of fashion. The business research company has predicted that sustainable fashion market is expected to grow from 6.3 billion in 2019 to 8.2 billion in 2023, and is going to see growth until 2030 to 15.17 billion. We're also seeing an uptick in sustainable product searches. So according to the List Conscious Fashion Report, dresses by Reformation, Faithful the brand, and Maggie Marilyn are the most searched for in sustainable products form list on February, so from February 9, 2019 to 2020. And with all of that, and this is the main thing that we're saying in this session, is an estimated 2.2% of fashion production facilities only are manufacturing sustainably. So there's huge market potential there. And using certified ecologically sound practices, meeting key labor or fair trade standards, or addressing social needs, these are the ones that we are showcasing today. And we're extremely proud to have them here in our session, as they are the pioneering ones. They are the ones pioneering the work for future manufacturing standards. Going forwards, the fastest growing regions in the ethical fashion market will be the Eastern Europe scene and South America. And according to Business Wire, we will see growth of 11.9% and 11.4% respectively in these two regions. And these will be followed by Asia Pacific and Africa, where the markets are expected to register growth of approximately 11%. So projections of growth, and with projections of growth, of course, comes a great opportunity to host a session about it here on CoExpo. But now my time is over, so I'm very happy to hand over to Tamsin again. Tamsin, who's going to head up the Q&A with Claire and with Ranga.
Thank you so much, Laurent. So great to see that we continue to grow this sector, and it can only get better. And fantastic statistics which demonstrate the increase in interest in sustainable fashion in light of the pandemic. It has not reduced engagement, but increased it. So I'm really pleased to introduce Ranga and Claire. And Ranga is the CEO of Dibella India, a partner with Co, but also one of our early members and a winner of a leadership award on the site. So Ranga, I'd love to, could you tell us a little bit about Dibella and what makes you stand out? And if we could navigate to the Dibella slides, that would be really great.
So thank you very much, Tasmin, and good morning or good afternoon, good evening to everybody. So Dibella India is an apparel design and manufacturing company focused on sustainable textiles. So we work very closely with about 2,700 small-scale farming families with the aim of creating sustainable community, not just buying cotton from them, but investing heavily back into their community to ensure that their children are going to school and they have better medical care and better infrastructure as well. Our USPs are supplying well-designed, durable, and high-quality products that are delivered on time and every time, and providing turnkey sustainability solutions from traceability to last mile to energy and water efficient, transparent supply chains to sustainable packaging. As a pioneering supplier who works with only sustainable products, we have years of learning, which we would like to share. Normally, it's our joy to share with our clients and partners. And we have a really wide range of innovative fabrics and garments that are produced sustainably, whether it is organic cotton or regenerative organic cotton or recycled cotton blends or tensile blends and and many other, including organic linen and many other products as well. And also we provide opportunities, since we work directly with the farmers, we provide opportunities for the brands to work with the farming community and involve in some of the leading edge sustainable initiatives, how they can directly invest in the community, how they can coordinate with the community as well.
Thank you so much. And just to mention to everybody in the room that we will have a breakout room with Ranga if you have questions, but in the meantime, if you have burning questions, do post them in the chat. we can take account of those, and perhaps Ranga can answer some of those on the chat before the session, or be ready for them when we go into the session. So yes, I mean, I have a question for you, Ranga. What do you think is the most important thing for brands to consider when they're working with ethical and sustainable products, working with suppliers?
I think it is more than what suppliers. There should be, the starting point should be clarity of the objective, what the brands want to achieve is in their sustainability journey, so that both suppliers and the brands can walk together. And also they have to look at, when they assess the suppliers, they should look beyond certification, not just, what kind of certification they have, but how, what are their values are, and what are the relationship with downstream suppliers, and how are they forging, or how are they acting in the community, whether it is workers community or whether it is farmers community. That is very critical as well. And also, I think their willingness to nurture long-term relationship, because when we talk about sustainability journey, with one order or 1 year, you cannot really achieve many objectives. So it is a long-term process. So both the suppliers and brands should be willing to commit to the long-term relationship, so that they can walk the journey together.
Just a little more on Dibella. How have you found it during the pandemic? Have you managed to, have you found the interest in sustainability, and have you seen particular opportunities for brands producing specific types of products? How have you fared?
Thankfully, we haven't. We have done very well. We haven't impacted much, and we have vaccinated our employees long before the second wave, or during the middle of second wave. So we didn't have a lot of impact. But like anybody who are in India, we did go through a very difficult time. In terms of business, I think there is a lot of movement in or a lot of interest in sustainable products now. And especially considering what is happening with the organic cotton prices in India, and we that there is an interest, but the willingness to take next step, there is always a hesitation, because price has become a stumbling block. So the brands who had long-term relationship with the suppliers, they have seen the benefit of the hard work, that including us, whatever our business has grown, because we are we have a dedicated farmer community with whom we are getting cotton from. So in terms of our business, it has done well, but we have seen a lot of, though the interest is very high, the brands have taken a step back mainly because of the prices and situation in organic cotton, both transparency and credibility.
Thank you. And just my last question. Now how do you work with brands to make, what do you think makes a great partnership? So we're going to hear from Claire, who works with you with Arthur and Henry. Yeah. What are your recommendations for some of the brands in here for creating our win-win partnership that results in fantastic products?
I think it should start with the same thing that I have said, what is the common objective for both the brand and the suppliers? What is you want to create, both in the, starting with what is the, social impact, and what is the environmental impact we want to create, and what is the benchmark we want to have for the designs and for the product quality. And also we create the consumer experience, what kind of consumer experience we want to deliver. So the relationship with, for example, Arthur and Henry and many brands that we work with, whether it is Nudie Jeans and Dedicated, these brands, it's all based on mutual respect and transparency. They know exactly what the entire supply chain, not just know, but we insist that they visit them quite often and they interact with them. And so whatever objectives are there, we are trying to achieve together. And when they create some designs which is not workable for us, we immediately tell them, with this, the environmental footprint is higher, so this is what we can offer with a lower environmental footprint, or certain fiber production, this is not really the right kind of blend that we should go for. So we get an opportunity to do this because it's a collaborative design development process. And it is not just, okay, we send you a tech pack or design pack and you go ahead and produce what we want. So when we with Arthur and Henry, we develop that kind of relationship. So it becomes, our success depends on the brand success. So we put in all our expertise and and our experience to ensure that the product is durable, the product is, of high quality, and the consumer get a better experience of while wearing the products, and also when they're, recycling or even during the maintenance of the product.
You're almost a member of the team in a way.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Claire, I'd love to hear from you if you want to unmute yourself. So you've worked with Ranga and Dibella for quite some years. Tell us a bit about your work, what you've produced, and why it's been such a success.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, as Tamsin said, I co-founded Arthur and Henry. Actually, Ranga, you won't believe this, it was pretty much 10 years ago. It's been an entire decade. I think we launched our first collection in 2012, but obviously there was a couple of years of work before that to get to that place. And sorry, I'm just going to change someone gallery view so I can actually see people, otherwise it's a bit weird. There we go. Yeah, we had this idea that we wanted to do smart formal men's shirts in organic fair trade cotton, or cotton that benefited cotton farmers. And we didn't really know how to do it. And I knew my passion was about overcoming poverty through trade and just using cotton that had been produced in America and then making it in Switzerland, which is where we were ending up. Didn't really, as Ranga said, that shared objective, that common objective, that shared mission, it wasn't quite speaking to what we wanted to do, but we weren't quite sure how we could actually make these quite formal, high quality shirts. And then we came across Ranga through, it was when Arthur and Henry was just an idea and Dibella really wasn't even an idea, I think, at that point, but it was through a shared work around fair trade cotton and cotton farmers. And it was that common passion for transforming cotton farmers' lives that he had, and that you're now seeing in his work with Dibella, combined with absolute technical and business knowledge and expertise on how to actually make that happen, that I think enabled, well, both our relationship and enabled Arthur and Henry to exist. We wouldn't exist if it hadn't been for that, and is what he brings and what Dibella now brings to not just us, but to other customers and other brands as well. And yeah, so we've been quite focused over the years. We still do smart men's shirts. We haven't moved very far from our main mission, but the quality of the product we've been able to do, the development of fabrics, the development of make has happened and expanded a little bit within that. And I think that focus has been really good.
Amazing, thank you. And Claire is also a co-founder of Common Objective.
I am.
So, she's been quite instrumental in developing the content that supports other brands to source and find sustainable and ethical suppliers. What are your recommendations for what to look for in a sustainable or ethical supplier?
Well, I thought about this, Tamsin, from very much from the Arthur and Henry perspective, but I think it then thinking about what we've done with Co in the past and looking at the expertise and experience that we've looked at across the industry within Common Objective. A shared vision, a supplier that actually gets the same mission as you, and ones where I've often said I don't have the professional language for this, but if someone gets it, they will make it happen. So you can see with Ranga this desire, this getting it, of wanting cotton farmers to have better lives and better livelihoods. They'll find the way, and his way has been to create Dibella and manufacturing, having factories and his own factory so that the whole production can happen as well around the farmers. And that means things are embedded from the very beginning. But I know that's quite hard, and also people are very good at saying the right thing and indeed wanting to do the right thing. I don't think there's many people out there that are saying we want to pillage the environment and abuse our workers. So then it's how that's taken into a systematic approach that's process driven and has the right systems. And so the second thing we really look for is that standards and certification, not because it's that kind of external marketing, but because it's a toolkit by which suppliers and manufacturers can use to go, actually, these are the things we want to do. What's the tools? What's the process? What are the systems we need to put in place? And so if someone has got those certifications, all those standards across the board, it shows us that they've got sort of external verification that they're doing what they wanted to do, and also that the bits they might not have thought about have been covered too. But as Ranga has pointed out, that's not the only thing. Standards exist to sort of help drive things forward, but there's work beyond that that we'd also look for and look to. And then the third thing I'd look for in a ethical supplier is good communication and good communication skills, particularly if you're working globally. And that can be where a lot of businesses trip up. And then the fourth one, which is also the first one, is that there's quality of product. You know, so for us, it was high quality men's shirting, high quality men's shirts. At the time we started 10 years ago, that was quite hard to find in organic cotton. You couldn't just buy fabric over the shelf that worked for that. So it's someone that can work with you to get that quality product. So all those things had to come together.
Amazingly concise. Thank you, Claire. My last question to you. What are your 3 most important learnings from running Arthur & Henry from a production perspective that you would share with other brands looking to create quality products?
Yeah, so Ranga will laugh at this because I came to Arthur & Henry from the sustainability side, as you know, and from the human impact side. So I didn't know anything about producing garments and clothing or designing them. So I've very much learned along the way. But there are 3 things I would go for. One is time. One is learning, like real mutual partnership, learning from and with your suppliers. And the third is transparency. So time, really know and understand lead times, plan production calendar, get that really sorted. And then in my experience, add more time. And some of that, I think, will really think back to what your product is. The more trans-seasonal you can be, the easier it is to allow for flex in time. If you're absolutely determined you have to have, bikinis by June and Christmas sweaters by September, that's going to be a bit more problematic. But the more, with men's shirts, we're quite lucky they're trans-seasonal, but you can do that with you can think creatively about that with other products too. Learning from suppliers, they have much more technical learning around fabrics, around product construction, the collaborative design work, the collaborative product development that Ranga was talking about. Absolutely. And I don't know, I hear a lot of people saying, our suppliers are our business partners, they are our true partners, but that relationship is often very unequal. And people talk about their business partners, but the power is completely imbalanced. And I think the more you can have that equity of power, which comes from relationship and communication as much as it does from money, or at least to do with that, is really important. And recognizing and respecting that expertise and that knowledge. And then transparency. For us, it's really important we have transparency right back to the farmers. And every mill and every dye house, we know with Dibella that we get, absolutely, we know where stuff is made. But the other way as well, how transparent are we as a brand, or how transparent are brands about what our vision is, what our product development is, what our design is, what our costs are. Often we talk about open costing with transparency, but what are our costs? What do we need in order to market stuff properly or host the website or anything else? And the more transparent we can be in both directions, the more equitable the trading relationship. And then we can go forward.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to have you, Claire. I think we should do a whole series with you on nuggets of gold. Thanks for sharing those. Just to draw your attention, Ranga, you've got a question in the chat if you're able to respond to that. And as I said, we will come back to Ranga in the breakout rooms. So if you can hang on to then,
sure.
We will be, you'll be able to say a bit more about what you do and the audience will be able to learn. So I'd now like to pass on to Andy, our head of suppliers, who's going to introduce some of the other suppliers showcasing in this section and let some of them speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamsin. So great to hear from all of you so far. We've got some amazing exhibitors coming up now. The content of the slides that you're about to see are a snapshot of the business profiles. So Manisha, who's on the co-team, she's going to post a link to each profile in the chat as and when the slide shows. So you can click on that and find out more and connect with the people working at that business. Now, some of these businesses, most of them are going to share in just 60 seconds. So quite a challenge, what makes their business stand out. So that's a challenge for them. And the reason we're going to try and keep it as snappy as possible is because after that are the breakout sessions where we can have much more in-depth conversations and you will all have opportunity to ask any questions you have. So first up, we have Can Fashion, who are based in India and are equipped to handle smaller and larger orders. And their certifications include GOTS and Global Recycle Standards. So I think, Ashish, you're in the room. It'd be great to hear from you in 60 seconds about your business, Can Fashion.
Yeah, hi, good evening to all of you. My name is Ashish Jain. I'm representing Can Fashion. We are based out of Noida, that is in India, and we do a lot of sustainable products, as a policy matter, and we have been supplying to all over the globe. We are majorly doing women's wear as well as the kids wear. So in terms of capacity, we produce almost 4 lakh units per year. We have 3 units, and we do have embroidery and printing machine in house with us. So we are expanding in terms of our production, and we are got certified as well as Ocotex certification, and we are also looking for a few more certification, and we would like to supply all the products should be sustainable, and whatever best we could do as far as this sustainability is concerned, and the best practices, and whatever best we can do, we are trying here, and we are looking to have a partner. And this is the very reason that we have opted for this great platform. First time we are participating in this, and we got to know about this thing. And I had a discussion with Laurent and some other team members regarding this, and it was a fruitful discussion. And our management is very happy, and we look forward to a long-term relationship. And and a lot of inputs are very, very valuable. And we believe in innovation with the help of technology. So any inquiries are welcome. If somebody is looking for a supplier for ready-made garments for women's wear, for kids wear, and we are quite, in terms of capacity, we are capable to handle small orders as well as the big orders. We have designed our capacity in such a way that, since we are supplying to a lot of design houses of Europe, majorly France, so we are quite capable to handle smallest to the capacity, smallest the orders as well as the big orders.
Brilliant. Ashish, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but we've got a few more to get through. If people want to connect with Ashish, his profile is now in the chat, his business and fashion. And then Ashish, stay on after this, and you will be in a breakout room and have more chance to talk about Can Fashion and talk with people. That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So next up, we've got 5P Venture. And 5P is a vertically integrated manufacturer offering both hand-woven and machine-woven fabrics and garments. Their factory is solar powered, and they offer organic cotton, linen, tencel, modal, eri silk, hemp, and recycled fabrics. And it's a delight now to hand over to Mano, who in 60 seconds is going to tell us more.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Thank you to CEO for organizing such a great event, by the way. So 5P Venture is an organization that is based in the southern part of India. 5P specializes in the production of sustainable clothing and soft furnishings for global brands and retailers. We specialize in using fibers like organic cotton, God certified organic cotton, GRS certified recycled cotton, and poly blends, apart from lyocell, tencel, and other such fibers that are more sustainable. So our USP is that we also have a handloom production facility where we employ about 45 handloom artisan families year-round long, where we have worked with these families for about the last 9 years, and we have seen a huge impact in the lives of all these families in the last 9 years. So we are also able to make fabrics and supply textiles to brands that want to do stitching in their own country, with several options like twills, dobbies, and custom jacquards using all these recycled and sustainable fibers. So with MOQ starting from 300 pieces, we specialize in categories like dresses, shirts, shorts, trousers, aprons, baby wraps, and kids wear. So looking forward.
I think we've lost Mano briefly, but Mano is going to be in a breakout room, so we can find out more there. Super helpful. So from one supplier,
connecting with everybody in the forum to talk here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mano. You cut out just at the end, but we will look forward to hearing more in the breakout sessions. So from one great supplier to another, we head to Mahira Shaw, who offer full service manufacturing and hand block printed organic cottons, all in-house in Jaipur, India. So look forward to hearing from you, Shari.
Hello, thank you very much for giving all of us an opportunity to speak here today. I'm Sherry Keller, Director of Mahira Textiles. We're a fair trade garment manufacturer and guaranteed member of the WFTO. We're based in Jaipur, India. We specialize in producing high-end women's casual wear and homewares in GOTS certified organic cottons and using hand block printing. We offer printing of our own prints as well as custom printing on GOTS certified organic cottons. We also offer full service manufacturing. We're an integrated manufacturer with fabric source, including pattern making, grading, sampling, the fabric sourcing, of course, the block printing, production and export for small and medium batch production in-house in Jaipur. We also focus on sustainability, of course, using the certified organic cottons that are sourced from India, the focus on the artisan printing with low impact dyes and our own water filtration unit, as well as a very deep commitment to fair trade from our inception in 2007. The biggest opportunity we see for fashion brands, I'd like to second Clare and Ranga's comments there, having to do with long-term relationships that can be built between brands and suppliers, real relationships that delve into and support equitable, sustainable relationships and are mutually beneficial. We see that as really the way forward and making a difference in the fashion industry for everybody so that a garment is less a commodity and more a symbol of our shared humanity. And we really believe that that is possible through a shared commitment and clear and transparent communication. So thank you. I look forward to talking with you all in the breakout rooms as well.
Thank you, Shari. That's great. Now our next exhibitor is Powered by People. Powered by People are a global B2B platform for creative manufacturing and handmade businesses. And for buyers, they offer discovery, customization, and flexible payments. And for makers, they offer financing and digital production software. So we're now going to hear from Hedvig.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So pleased to be here today. Yes, as Andy said, we recently launched a wholesale marketplace for the creative manufacturing and handmade sector, which is, probably as much as 400 million people globally, but who don't have access to markets, in many cases, not digital tools and digitization, as well as financing. So our platform is a place to connect wholesale creative manufacturers, producers all over the world with buyers in North America, and Europe, and Asia, and at the same time supporting them with purchase order financing and other types of financing, if necessary, plus digital production tools. And our production tool is probably why I ended up in this panel, which is we have created based on some technology my co-founder had partly developed in her previous business, an ability to aggregate many handmade producers in one production tool. So you can be one production manager managing a big order, but then connecting as many communities in remote places as you need. And we've piloted it actually with a big IKEA basket producer in India that has 5 very remote locations where they do baskets in Bangalore, and it's working very well. And that's also how we plan to actually prove traceability and sustainability, because really how do you get the information that we all need to be able to claim transparency and sustainability, both environmentally and socially? That is really by connecting with the production unit and the accounting units within these businesses. So you know who's making your products, what are they paid, where are they making it, what kind of raw material suppliers did they use, and so forth. So this production tool not only helps the producer and the artisan produce, but it also collects automatically this kind of data that the buyer and then the producer and business themselves need to evaluate their transparency. So that's Powered by People.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. I look forward to hearing more about that in the breakout sessions. So moving on now to Purna, who are a fair trade guaranteed garment manufacturer offering sustainable and ethical cut and sew manufacturing services. And we're now going to hear from Corbin. Over to you.
Hey, thanks so much for putting this on, Common Objective. It's great to be here. My name is Corbin Bryant. I'm the founder and director of Purna, which is an ethical contract cut and sew manufacturing company in Kathmandu, Nepal. We're a guaranteed member of the WFTO, and our USP is our specialized product development process for helping brands establish a sustainable supply chain for their unique products. We offer sourcing services to help brands find their sustainable materials needed for their products. And we recently developed a new specialty in customized printed caps that we can deliver in very small MOQs and very fast lead times. And we want to help brands grow by making great products and also making sure they're proud of the impact they're having in people's lives in Nepal. The biggest opportunity we see is similar to what others have mentioned. Long-term manufacturing relationships can create better products, increase sustainability over time, and better pricing over time. So really investing in the relationships with your suppliers really can help grow your brand and improve your products.
Superb. Thank you, Corbin. That's great. And finally, Citrus Fashions. They offer a full manufacturing solutions and their clients include high-end fashion companies. Their primary focus has been to work with local weavers and artisans on sustainable fabrics since inception. We're going to hear more about Citrus Fashion this time tomorrow in the Impact Pioneers Low MOQ session. But for now, I'll go back to Tamsin, who's going to introduce the breakout sessions.
Thank you. So yes, now is the opportunity for us to split the group into a smaller number of people. We've got quite a few people in the room. So this will give you a chance to have your questions answered. I've seen the number of questions that have come through on the chat. So we have 3 breakout sessions this time. We've organized it by certification. So in terms of what the social or environmental impact, but I just wanted to emphasize that all of these suppliers are covering all the bases. So they are considering social as well as environmental and changing lives. Just to remind you that you can also move between breakout groups. So if you choose one and you want to move to the other, you can do. In breakout room 1, Mihira Shaw and Purna, both World Fair Trade Organization suppliers. In room 2, Dibella and 5P Venture, they're both GOTS certified. And then in room 3, organizations and suppliers who are really changing lives. And that's a focus powered by people in can fashion. All of these suppliers are changing lives, and all of them offer the focus for this session, which is full production. So that kind of partnership relationship that we heard about from Clare and Ranga at the beginning. You can hear more from Ranga in the breakout session 2.